In the cold, desolate waters of the Arctic, off the shores of Bjørnøya, or Bear Island, sailors have spoken for centuries of an eerie sight, a ghost ship that appears from nowhere, only to vanish just as quickly. The ship, seen drifting across the icy waters, has been described as silent, mysterious, and foreboding. Some say it is the lost vessel of a Norwegian expedition, while others believe it is a supernatural presence haunting the Arctic seas. For those who have had the misfortune of encountering this phantom ship, it's a sight that chills to the bone, a reminder that not all mysteries are meant to be solved. In this video, we explore the legend of the Ghost Ship of Bjørnøya, its history, the chilling tales of sailors who've witnessed it, and the theories about its origins. Is it a ghostly reminder of a lost expedition? Or does it represent something darker, a manifestation of the unforgiving Arctic environment itself? To understand the mystery of the Ghost Ship of Bjørnøya, we must first explore the setting, the island itself. Bjørnøya is a small, remote island located in the Barents Sea, about halfway between the northern tip of Norway and the archipelago of Svalbard. The island is icy, windswept, and sparsely populated, with a harsh climate and dangerous waters that have historically made it difficult to navigate. Bjørnøya is a barren land of jagged cliffs, rocky shores, and frigid winds that whip across the landscape. Its isolation and treacherous environment make it a natural setting for tales of strange sightings, disappearances, and ghostly legends. Despite its harsh conditions, the island has attracted explorers and adventurers over the years, particularly in the 19th century, when exploration in the Arctic was at its peak. The island's remote location made it an important stop for expeditions heading into the Arctic or trying to map out the far northern regions of the world. Ships would often pass by Bjørnøya en route to their destinations, and it was here that some claim to have encountered the mysterious ghost ship. The first recorded sightings of the ghost ship off the coast of Bjørnøya occurred in the early 19th century. Sailors and fishermen began to speak of a strange vessel, one that seemed to appear out of nowhere, moving silently through the fog and mist of the Arctic waters. Descriptions of the ship varied. Some said it was an old wooden ship, while others described it as sleek, modern, or even ghostly in appearance. Despite these differences, all witnesses agreed on one thing: the ship never seemed to stay long. It would appear on the horizon, only to vanish without a trace. As the sightings continued, rumors began to spread about the ship's origin. Many believed that it was the ghostly remnants of a lost Norwegian expedition. This theory was fueled by the fact that several Norwegian voyages had gone missing in the Arctic during the 19th century. Some speculated that the ship had once been part of a scientific expedition, perhaps one that had met a tragic fate, its crew lost to the unforgiving Arctic waters. The ship, they believed, had become trapped in time, forever doomed to wander the icy seas of the Arctic in search of something it would never find. Witnesses reported that the ship's appearance was often accompanied by an ominous silence. No sound of wind or waves breaking against the hull, just the eerie stillness of the frozen expanse. The ship was sometimes seen drifting through the fog or through patches of ice, and often, by the time a ship or a sailor attempted to approach, the ghost ship would disappear without a trace. Some sailors even claimed to have been drawn toward the ghost ship by an inexplicable force. The ship seemed to exert an almost magnetic pull, luring those nearby into its path. But once they tried to get closer, the ship would vanish, as if swallowed up by the Arctic mists. As with most legends, there are multiple theories surrounding the origins of the Ghost Ship of Bjørnøya. Here are some of the most popular explanations that have emerged over the years. A lost Norwegian expedition. The most widely accepted theory is that the ghost ship is the manifestation of a lost Norwegian expedition that met with disaster in the Arctic. During the 19th century, numerous Arctic expeditions, particularly those from Norway, were plagued by bad weather, ice, and the dangers of the uncharted northern waters. Ships and crews disappeared without a trace, and many historians have speculated that some of these lost expeditions could have been the very ships that are now said to haunt the waters of Bjørnøya. One such expedition could have been the André expedition of 1897, when Salomon August André, a Swedish engineer, attempted to reach the North Pole by hot air balloon. Though André was not Norwegian, his story is tied to the era of Arctic exploration, and his ill-fated mission ended in disaster when his balloon crashed on the ice. The crew, while not on a ghost ship, was trapped in the Arctic for months before ultimately perishing. The lingering presence of lost explorers could have contributed to the creation of ghostly legends. Another theory suggests that the ghost ship sightings could be the result of a natural phenomenon known as a superior mirage. Superior mirages occur when light bends over the horizon due to temperature differences in the air, causing objects far away to appear distorted, or even to float above the water. The optical illusion could create the impression of a ship appearing out of nowhere, seemingly floating in mid-air, before it fades away as the light shifts. While this theory doesn't explain the eerie silence or the seemingly purposeful disappearances of the ship, it does offer a more rational explanation for the strange, transient appearances. Sailors in the Arctic, especially those navigating through fog and mist, may have mistaken these optical illusions for ghostly ships. Some believe the ghost ship is not a product of history or physics, but rather the manifestation of the Arctic's raw power. The Arctic is a place of extremes, where the elements dominate and where human presence is but a temporary intrusion on the land and sea. Some cultures believe that the environment itself can exert its own forces, creating paranormal phenomena that reflect the harshness of the natural world. In this theory, the ghost ship is not the result of human tragedy or optical illusions, but a reflection of the Arctic's own mystic forces. The ship represents the unforgiving, timeless nature of the Arctic waters, a reminder that the sea and the ice have the power to both create and destroy, to preserve and erase. Finally, there is the possibility that the ghost ship is simply a piece of Arctic folklore, a myth passed down through generations of sailors. In seafaring cultures, tales of ghost ships and phantom vessels are common, often tied to tragic events or mysterious disappearances. As sailors in the Arctic shared their stories, the legend of the ghost ship of Bjørnøya may have evolved from a single sighting into a larger narrative. Folklore often intertwines with reality, and the enduring legend of the ghost ship may have been fueled by collective fear, superstition, and the isolation of the Arctic seas. The idea of a ghost ship that never leaves, doomed to wander the icy waters, could be as much a reflection of the sailors' own fears as it is an actual phenomenon. Today, the legend of the ghost ship of Bjørnøya endures. Sailors continue to report sightings of the phantom ship, though they are few and far between. The ghost ship has become a symbol of the Arctic's mystery, an enduring reminder of the dangers of exploration, the power of nature, and the untold stories of those who ventured into the northern waters. Whether the ghost ship is a lost expedition, a natural optical illusion, or a supernatural presence, Its legend has captured the imaginations of many. The icy waters of Bjørnøya continue to be a place of mystery, and the ghost ship will likely remain a haunting presence in the Arctic for years to come. As we consider the legend of the Ghost Ship of Bjørnøya, we are left with more questions than answers. Was it a ship lost to time, forever wandering the Arctic waters? Or is it a product of the Arctic's harsh environment, an optical illusion born of fog and light? The truth may never be known, but the story of the ghost ship will continue to haunt the waters of Bjørnøya, a mystery that endures in the icy winds of the Arctic. What do you think? Is the ghost ship of Bjørnøya a true supernatural presence, or just a haunting myth? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more chilling maritime mysteries.